What is up, everyone? I got with me the legendary Jude Poku. How you doing, Jude?
Hey, Mitch, how we doing, bro? Doing well.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. So Jude is out in Jersey City, right? New Jersey area. Jude is crushing it. We've known each other for a little while now. We're just hanging out in Miami, right? Wasn't that fun?
That was sick, man. Yeah, like the architecture over there was just so beautiful. I definitely want to drop back down there, maybe get a building of my own little apartment hotel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that was great. We were there for a business event. A lot of people in the TechnoTutor community down there, and it's just been really fun to see everyone grow, and especially Jude. So, I want to take this interview, this video, for you to hear from the man himself, how he became the top salesman in a Fortune 15 company, doing sales, door to door, running an office, stuff that you hadn't really done before, right?
Never in my mind, and yeah,
Okay.
it's too much to imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, and just where you came from, more like the creative artist world, like traveling around, all that, to then now this like elite business mind in what, a year or less. Just all that, man. I just want to showcase like everything you're doing because you're doing a lot of great work out there too. I want you to also share a little bit about the vision at the end, so anyone around you in Manhattan or Jersey, they can plug in and connect with you. So without further ado, man, like let's just jump straight into the heart of it. How did you get to the top in this multi-billion dollar company and start crushing it so quickly?
Well, it really started with changing my self-image, I would say, right? So I started getting into sales door to door in about December, January of last year and this year, 2022. Before that, I was doing music, right? I was a producer, artist, audio engineer, and things like that. And so I only known about how to do creative works, right? How to
Hey, you
kind
make
of
some good music, man. We were
appreciate.
listening to that at that event here in Minneapolis. That's sick.
Oh, yeah, love that, love that. Gonna get back into that for sure. But right now it's on to business, right? Because back then, like I was doing really good in music, but I was just good at the music part, right? Didn't really know about like the business side of it, like how to actually like make money and like generate fans and revenue off of all that. So I started using my TechnoTutor to program myself for business specifically. And so it was around December last year, I decided to get involved with Verizon. They have this entrepreneurship program and like business or management training program. So got involved with that. It was starting from the bottom, man. Like the roughest streets of like learning how to do sales, right? It was door-to-door sales. And going into that, I knew that, but I knew I wanted to do that because I wanted to challenge myself and learn like the hardest way at the start. So that anything that I do later would be like a walk in the park, like eating a piece of cake. All right. So got started with that. And throughout that, using my TT to just understand like what it actually means to communicate, what it means to network, what it means to build a team, be a leader, learn marketing and sales is kind of what brought me to being number one in the company and starting my own thing not too long after that.
Right on, man. And like, what initially got you into TechnoTutor, and then how have you used it since as you've progressed?
Yeah, I would say the most resonant point of what got me into it was wanting to change myself and my situation, right? Doing music for a while, full time, I was like, this is fun, right? Like meeting some cool people, traveling a lot, getting to connect with people and putting my work out. But it was like on that surface level, I was having fun, like on like the outside, things were cool, having a great time. On the inside though, I knew that I could be doing a lot more, right? Like I had talents and like this fire inside of me to do a lot more with my life. And like just the position, the stage I was at, it wasn't really coming through. Like I feel like I wasn't reaping the benefits of what I knew that I could possibly do. So I found TT through you actually, through you and Seth and Self Perfected and things like that. And you guys showed me that there's a bigger purpose to life, right? Like purpose of life is not to be happy because happiness is just a condition, it's a state. purposes, changing and allowing those around you to change. So you guys introducing me to that concept, I was like, yeah, man, like I definitely need to change. I want more out of what I'm doing. And so TT, what attracted me was like the idea that I could change and I could create more for myself. And that really started from like the inside, right? I was doing a lot on the outside, but I wasn't doing much real internal work. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah, that's that point of self-honesty, right? Like you can't lie to yourself for that long. And right, traveling around the world, it's great because I had a similar experience traveling, and on the surface, oh, it's cool, got the cool photos, right, enjoying it, but deep down it just eats at you. Like, I know I could do a lot more. So that's been cool,
yeah.
man. And then you just jumped in right away, went after it. Like, what did you notice early on when you were using TechnoTutor? Like, what was some of the first things you started to see and how you were changing?
Yeah, initially it was like a wave of relief, because around that point when I first got it, right, I was starting to feel a bit of nihilism about my situation and in the world. And so I wasn't even like active as much like in my community on social media and things. I was like, what's the point of all this, man? Like, what are we really doing here? Nobody like is like waking up to like the reality of things. And even myself at that point, I was still, kind of in the clouds, just like living in my imagination, living in my mind, not living on earth, grounded in here in this reality. So the first few things that I noticed was that it allowed me to, stabilize myself and my emotions like here on earth and like actually live in this physical reality with other people and live with them on that context. So I felt like, a burden had been lifted off my shoulder, like, because there were some nights where I don't know if you could relate, but I couldn't sleep because like all these thoughts and these ideas just like ruminating in my mind. I'd be like, yo, make it stop. Like, why can't this like idea and like this feeling get out of my head? And so that was like one of the first few things I was like wiped away. Just that idea of like, damn, why can't this feeling like leave me?
Mm. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And then as you then developed, right? Because like people can use TechnoTutor for anything, right?
Mhm.
Stabilizing is probably the most important one that right away people do. But then you can get pretty fine tuned in terms of like, for example, with your sales scripts, learning how to go door to door and sell. You can use it to rapidly learn the script, right? And outgrow everyone in the office. So like, what did you start to do later on? And how did that evolve with your use of TechnoTutor, especially with like making money?
Yeah, so first I worked on my self-image and just releasing those emotional points. The next immediate thing I used to do was to actually make money and learn how to do business, right? Because I realized the importance of that in today's world. Like you gotta know how to generate money. You gotta know how to create money. Creating money and earning money, two different things, right? So I used it to teach myself, okay, how to build more confidence in connecting with people, communicating with people. And door to door was like the most practical, fastest way I could possibly do that because I'd be forced to talk to all these different people every single day. Right. So program myself with my techno tutor to overcome those fears of talking to random people because since we were young, parents would always say, don't talk to strangers, right? There'd be signs on the streets saying like watch out for new people, don't talk to all these people, right? Because it's dangerous. But that's a program, right? So I had to overcome that limiting belief that it's not okay to talk to new people, not okay to meet new people. When like in reality, if you want to build a business, if you want to make money, you gotta talk to new people because you gotta have new prospects and new customers coming in to build up your network, right? So that was the first point that I had to use it for, developing the courage to first of all try a completely new industry, completely new thing, and then try to be the best at that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's been really fun to see you grow. Like, I see some people in my life, and 5 years later, they're like the same person. And you, man, it's like every 5 months, you're like just at your next level, which is epic. So let's talk a little bit about now. Like, if someone wants to hear more, like, what are you doing? What are you focused on? What would you say are some of the main things, out there with the community, but also just in general, like how you're looking to develop?
Yeah, so learning business, like that was like my starting point. Like again, I knew I needed to learn how to do business if I wanted to make some type of real change in this world, like create an epic change in this world, right? And so at this point, I'm taking all the things that I learned from being in that program, connecting with all these other business type people, building up my network, and now transferring all those skills to doing my own thing. So now I'm building up our self-perfected community here in New Jersey and New York area, building up the TT community over here in New York and New Jersey, and just providing a space for people that, again, see the importance of change within themselves and the world to all communicate and congregate and collaborate in one spot, right? Because that in-person community is so important. Like you saw for yourself back when we were in Miami, like all the conversations that we had, all those deep talks, those late nights, like that's what I'm recreating right now at home. So we have that type of atmosphere 24/7.
Yes. So if anyone listening to this wants to get more tapped in, or you know people in New York, New Jersey area, like definitely connect with Jude, right? I'll put some links in the comments here. But what else do you see, man? Like in terms of the bigger picture now, I mean we talk about like taking this all the way, right?
Yeah.
Disrupting, transforming the education system, really getting to the top in terms of influence and all of that. Some people getting into politics, right? Understanding how we can really create this change, because just hoping that someone else is going to do it, charity's going to do it, this person's going to do it, Jesus is going to come on a cloud. It's like, let's look at each other and look at how do we actually figure this out together. So what do you see is like that bigger vision?
Well, it comes back to kind of what I was saying before about like having that openness and that willingness to connect with other people, that willingness to learn, being teachable, right? Wanting to change within yourself and having that willingness to change. So in order for us to hit our next level, all of us, we're each going to need to reach out to each other and be open to hopping on calls, be open to meeting up rather than just being stuck in our minds, stuck in our homes, stuck on the internet, stuck in the metaverse. We got to be ready to actually come outside and collaborate and work physically with our hands on these projects if you want to hit your next level to move forward. You know what?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, we're building it up to, it'll be like quarterly events, right? So,
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
come to New York, right? This quarter, or, another thing here in Minneapolis or wherever. It's like, that's the community we're building. We're not slowing down, right? It's just getting bigger. And it's fun, man. It's like every day on the front lines, it's a lot, but it's like when you're perfectly prepared to meet a challenge, it's like fun. Like
Mm.
like if you're playing like a game, let's say you're playing basketball and your opponent isn't very good, it's kind of boring. But when your opponent is like the perfect opponent and it really pushes you, but you can win, it's like that's what it is every day in our lives, right? Building this business with this movement.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what I've seen though is like your capability expands as you use TechnoTutor. That's what makes this so unique, right? Like, I guess maybe this is a good question to like close it out on, would be, what would you see is like the capabilities that you've got, or that you're really building out, like your specific capabilities that you use your TechnoTutor and all of that to grow.
Yeah, so being on the front lines is amazing. You know what I mean? I feel like some days I'm literally at war, right? Like I gotta step outside on the streets, talk to people, shake hands, and make things move, right? So for me, I really use TechnoTutor to be self-aware, right?
Mm,
Self-aware and self-honest. Because if you go back to again when I first started using it to develop myself in business, when I was knocking door to door, like that first door I ever knocked on, I could feel myself like shaking all up through my body, right? And so like that's an emotion, that's a feeling, but it didn't hold me back at that point. Now me being aware and realizing, okay, I'm going through something, that means this is an opportunity for me to step out of that shell, out of that programming and grow. Like me feeling that way, it means I'm at the edge of something, like I'm onto something, right? So whenever I feel that now, I know like that's a spidey sense, right? Like I'm on my way to growing and changing and accomplishing something better, hitting my next level,
mm,
right? I feel that, okay, I know this is something that I have to work through, something I still have to release from myself. So when I was first using it in learning sales and learning business, things like that, I would take that moment and hold on to that memory and then go back the next day or that night, write in my TechnoTutor what happened and process that point. So now it's like that an energy, that emotion is being released, it's dissipating from me. So that I can go on the next day and be like, okay, go through that same physical action and accomplish it, conquer it without that feeling. So that's like
Wow.
the biggest point. Like that's how I use my TechnoTutor every day, to be aware of what I'm going through, real time, process that, go back home, run it through TechnoTutor, clear it out, and then go
Mhm.
back and try again. Right? There's no resistance. Like there's no stopping. There's no blockages. It's only openness and awareness. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, that's amazing. So all y'all who do have TechnoTutor watching this, like take notes, right? That's genius. And the one other thing you bring up a good amount, which I think is just a valuable point to just give people some wisdom on, is you talk about self-image. And like, self-image, for anyone who isn't super clear on it, it's like if you were to close your eyes and say, who am I? Right? Or, say your name, like who is that? Your mind will create an image of that. And if you really like participate with it, you could see, like, is your self-image, like, what are the words that pop up? Is it like confident? Is it like awkward? Is it like expansive or doubtful or fear? You'll see what you're actually associating with yourself too. So the point is, with you saying this, Jude, of like how you developed your self-image to get better at sales. I remember like years ago, right before I found TechnoTutor, I did this self-image exercises from Kevin Trudeau and his personal master course. And I went all out, man, for like 6 months. I'm like trying to write it by hand and doing the worksheets and the exercises. And it still didn't really shift at all. I felt a little bit different about myself, but in terms of like my understanding, it didn't really change. So when I got TechnoTutor, they said, hey, you can use this to reprogram your self-image. And so that was what I did actually, like right away. That was one of the first things. I was like, wow. It did what took me like 6 months trying to do with the old school way. It was like probably 5 sessions of TT, so no more than an hour. And yeah, man. So did you ever do anything like that? Self-image, like specific in TT?
So yeah, from the start, like writing in, those affirmations, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Like I'm confident, I'm the best, I have the best network, I know what to say, things like that. Because I knew that would be my foundation, right? Because your level of success will never exceed your level of personal development,
mhm.
right? And your personal development is also correlated to your self-image, right? Because you gotta have self-esteem, you gotta have confidence. And when I first got technically, I realized, even though like consciously I think I'm, this icon, right? It's all a play in my head, right? It's not a reality, right? So technically was like, again, it brought me back down to earth. It was like, Colin, Jude, like we're down here right now, man. Like you gotta be confident, you gotta be the best in real life, not just in your head, right? And so, like, without TechnoTutor, you're only seeing that on that conscious level, but TechnoTutor allows you to see that on that unconscious level and rewrite that so that you can actually play that out automatically, not have to try or think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's that advantage. That's the TechnoTutor advantage, right? I'm sure you saw it when you were in the office of sales. I noticed this too. It's like you just can learn so much faster. Your feedback, you're wide open to it. So it's like some people it takes them a couple of weeks to get familiar with the script and what to do. TT,
Yeah.
it's like maybe 2 days, right? You just got to rep it a few times. So anyway,
Yeah.
man, that's cool. What else? What else you got for the listeners? Any words of wisdom? Any thought provoking questions?
I mean, go back to what we were saying, or to what we were saying before. Like, what is purpose? Like, what is actual change? Is it just about yourself and how you feel and what you're getting out of XYZ or what you're doing? Or is it about the bigger picture? Like, what are you actually creating for those around you, your family, your friends, your community? Are you all worked up and wrapped up in like what I want? And be self-honest about that too, because you could be saying, yeah, I want the best for those around me, but does that best come when I get what I want first, or does it come when we all eat at the same time? Right.
Mm.
So that's why I'm developing a team, like building a team, because when they eat, I eat, right? So it's about taking more responsibility, making sure other people are set. And once they're set, naturally, I'm going to get what I want. And same thing with you, if you understand that principle.
Mm-hmm. Well said, man. Well, for anyone who wants to connect with Jude, just in the description, I'll have a link to your Facebook and email and everything. And yeah, keep your eye on him because he's you're really pushing the boundary, man. Like you're really innovating with what you're doing with community. Like you and Ali out there is very impressive. And yeah, I mean, you know, you hear what we're about, right? For those of you who want to join, at least have a conversation, like hit us up. We'll tell it like it is. And it's I mean, it's the greatest group and movement I've ever found. Right.
Man, not afraid of strangers, not afraid of haters. We'll see you at the top.
Yeah. See y'all at the top, everybody. All right. Thanks, Jude. See ya.
Peace.